6:43. A little bit later than I normally get started, but we're gonna do a little interval run today, just around the neighborhood. So I'm gonna get my warm up going, and I'll catch up with you. So this is the first time I'm doing a video like this, sitting down with just a microphone and, talking about whatever. I kind of want this to be the first of many videos that kind of track my training and my progress as it goes. And I'd really like it to be not only like a log for myself, but, maybe hopefully it'll inspire someone else to do the same thing. I mean, I kind of got into it because of watching people like Cody Ko on his Cody Trains channel. Kind of stumbled upon Nick Bare accidentally. I was just kind of really looking to get back into running and started looking up some ways on YouTube to get into it when you've been out of it for a while. And Nick Bare's been a really great resource. Ian Fons as well. He's another BPN athlete. Not only do those guys give you like great information, but especially on the side of Cody as well, but just a lot of good motivation. Like you see somebody else doing these crazy things, running 50 miles or running 100 miles or something like that, and you see how happy they are when they finish. And when you're already kind of stepping towards getting back into those kinds of things, you see other people finish those massive accomplishments like that, and it kind of makes you want to do it too. And now, obviously, I'm nowhere close to being able to run 50 miles. I can barely even run 5 miles right now, probably if I tried. But I used to run cross country in high school. We would run 6-7 miles in a day. I probably did 10 miles one day, one time. So I'm not used to super long mileage. I'm used to shorter, like 3 to 5 miles, but pretty quick. But right now, I'm really not used to anything because I haven't hardly run in the last 5 years. But, I really wanted to take a hold of my health and take a hold of my life. So that's one thing I want to touch on, and we'll kind of start with that. A couple months ago, up until probably like 3 weeks ago, I was depressed for sure. Like, not clinically depressed. Like, I definitely am like okay, in the grand scheme of things. But the beginning of this year was just really tough. And there's a lot of factors that played into it. It was no one thing. I think I was mainly overwhelmed by all of the things I had taken on. I just promoted in the Air Force, and I was put in charge of my my work center. I was going through school. I'm still going through school, but my workload was getting a little bit heavier. Finances are always stressing everybody out. Who isn't stressed out by that? My dog had to get surgery, so that was financial and concerned about his well-being. So just a lot of stuff compiling, and I just didn't feel good. I was like tired all the time, kind of felt almost an underlying anxiety for most of my day. I had started running again the end of March, beginning of April, and it felt really good. Physically, not so great, but mentally it made me feel good, right? Because I felt like I was finally attacking something I've been wanting to for a while now. That felt great. It was cool outside. I live in Texas, by the way. I live in San Antonio. It was cool outside at that point, and then that second, third week of April or whatever, it started to get really hot, and I started to not run as much because it was so hot outside. I was running after work, around 2:30 or like 4 o'clock, depending on what time I got off. And I knew that if I wanted to keep running, I would have to make like a total lifestyle change because I was barely waking up on time to make it to work on time. So I sat down last weekend, and I scheduled out essentially what I want my life to look like for the foreseeable future. Because I had all these things, I have to clean the house, I have to do homework, I have to work out, I want to play games still, I want to hang out with my wife and my pets. How do I fit all of that on top of work into my day? So I sat down with my notebook, and I literally wrote down every single thing I wanted to do and found a way for it to fit in. And part of what I wanted to achieve as well was a good sleep schedule and a consistent sleep schedule that got me at least 7 hours of sleep a night and set me up to wake up early enough in the morning to go run when it wasn't too hot, and still gives me enough time on the back end of my day to unwind and get the things done that I need to get done. I wrote everything down, and when I looked at everything planned out like that, it instantly made me feel better because I could see that it is achievable, right? Now, there's some nuances to it because I kind of took a break from school this last week because I was not doing well in my classes, and rather than stress myself out and try to scavenge, a 65 for a grade, I decided I'm just going to take the L and I'll retake these classes and actually do well on them later because it's not my work ethic. It's not my best, and I want to put my best into it. So I haven't been doing any schoolwork this last week because my class is about done. So next week we'll see how that kind of pans out with that put in there. But I've got, an hour a night scheduled for school. I've got an hour a night scheduled for cleaning. And then on days where I get out of work a little bit early, I also have an hour roughly set aside to go to the gym and get a little lift in or do something at home and just get some body weight exercise in on top of my running training. So far this week, I started this on Monday. Monday was my first day doing it. And today was my last legit training day. So tomorrow's a rest day. I technically had 2 rest days this week, I guess, just because that's how my running training plan lined up with my lifting plan. So I'm only lifting 2 to 3 days a week, or doing non-running exercises 2 to 3 days a week. And that can include lifting. That can include calisthenic type stuff. But I'm running 6 days a week. I guess this week it was only 5, but 5 to 6 days a week, I guess you could say. Just in this 5-6 days that I've been doing it, I've felt immensely better. I'm eating more, which is kind of the downside because my whole goal is to lose some weight while also obviously getting my health up. But as soon as I started training, I got more hungry. So I'm still trying to figure out that balance between eating to fuel my training and then also not eating so much that I'm going into a caloric surplus. I do want to stay in a caloric deficit, but I don't really have a baseline maintenance calorie count yet. So that's something I need to tackle with some nutrition and dietitian providers and see what we can do. But I've been eating better. As you saw at the beginning of the video, I had a bowl of oatmeal with some blueberries in it this morning. That has been my favorite thing that I look forward to every morning. I get up. I did it backwards this morning. I ate breakfast first, and then I went and ran because I did a hard interval workout, and I wanted to have enough fuel in my body to really do my best at that. But normally I'll just drink my Super Greens or some water and then go run and then come back and have some oatmeal and then get ready for my day on a work day. But since today was Saturday, I got up a little bit later. Been trying to get up 5:45, 6. I got up around, I was out of bed at 6:15. Just kind of still attacking it, but in a more leisurely way on my weekend. Yeah, it felt really good out there today. I'm following the Nike Run Club app's 5K training plan. So today I kind of switched it up. Yesterday I did a long run because we had PT in the morning, squadron PT, and they played dodgeball, and I was like, I don't really want this to interrupt my training. I'm going to go for a run. So I did a mile long run yesterday, just at a pretty standard pace, slow pace for me. It was probably 11.5 minute pace. And then today I switched that with my interval training. So today it was a minute 5K, 2 minute 10K pace, I think back to a minute 5K, then 45 mile pace, back to 2 minute 10K, and kind of just fluctuated like that. So it was very much like a tempo run to try to figure out those pacings and that feeling. And it was pretty hard. That mile pace was killing me. I definitely couldn't hold that pace for a mile, but that's just what my body remembers and what I feel like would be a good mile pace for me right now. Could I hold it for the entire mile? Could I? Probably not, but it's nice to dream. And I think running a little bit quicker for those segments will help me eventually in the long run, run quicker in the long run. Yeah, no pun intended. Will help me run quicker when I get to that time where I am trying to push out a mile, as fast as possible. So I'm trying not to compare myself too much to how I was in high school. I feel like that would be a big mental setback. I was running low 6s in high school. I wasn't the fastest. I definitely wasn't. there was kids in my cross country team that were running 5:30 miles, maybe even a little bit quicker. I don't really remember. But I remember my fastest mile was like a 6:02 or 6:03. So I definitely wasn't the fastest, but I also wasn't the slowest. I was very middle of the pack, but I felt good. Like I could sustain a pace for a mile, and my race pace for a 5K was like between a 6:20 and a 6:30. So I was doing decent, especially for the experience I had. I started running in 7th grade, and I ran through my junior year. I did not run my senior year, which I kind of regret sometimes, but it is what it is. I'm getting back into it now, and that's what really matters. So yeah, I feel like I've rambled quite a bit. If you have any questions, make sure to drop them in the comments, and I'll either answer them via a comment or I'll talk about it in my next video. Don't know how often I'm going to make these. I think weekly is ideal, but it's with all of what I said I have going on, it's not a priority for me to make videos right now. This is more for fun and, like I said, to log. So, if I have major updates, then I will, of course, make a video. Or if people just want to know more about what I'm doing, I'll make a video as well. I feel like I'm forgetting a bunch, so maybe you'll get another video very soon after I watch this back when I edit it and realize how much I forgot to say. But I'll try to mix in some more running and stuff as I go. This was my first time doing anything like this. I've never, documented myself working out before. And I didn't really feel like walking around with my phone and a tripod around my neighborhood today. So if I go somewhere where I'm more alone, or if I go to the track like on base or something, I can do that. Or if I'm out running the trails or the roads on base or something, I could do that. But for today, you got a little sneak peek of what I've been doing. You got like my morning routine, and hear me talk about what I'm doing. So like I said, if you want to know more, ask some questions. And if you have questions about resources, let me know. I can point you to some that I've been using that I've really enjoyed. And yeah, I guess that's pretty much it, guys. If you like this, make sure to drop a like, leave a comment, share it with friends, whatever. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.